Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron. As you can tell, massive smile on my face this evening. Brentford 1, Everton 3 at the DYCHE Stadium. How have we managed to do that? I'll never know. Similar feeling to after the Brighton game. I didn't feel like Everton had much chance of coming away from this one with a win. Not as surprising as the Brighton game because I think Brentford haven't had a great start to the season. Certainly not, the start that they would have wanted, and certainly not at home either. They haven't won a game at home yet. So, maybe we should have felt a little bit more confident than what we were. But, going into this game, 5 Premier League games played, 4 defeats, 1 draw, of course, defeats to the teams that we should have been beating at Goodison. I think it's understandable that we went into this one feeling a little bit worried. But I thought Everton were absolutely fantastic tonight. And fair play to Sean Dyche. Listen, I've come on here before. I've sat in this very seat, in this very room, and I've had a go at Sean Dyche. And I've said that I think, pressure's mounting on him. And I've said that, if he doesn't start picking up results, he'll lose his job. And do you know what? Fair play to him today. He made one massive decision going into this game. He took Danjuma out. He put James Garner back at right midfield, and myself and I'm sure many of you sat there before the game and said that's a massive risk, that, because James Garner over the last few weeks when he's played at right midfield hasn't particularly been great whatsoever. Danjuma's looked probably our biggest goal threat, so it was a big decision for the manager to make, and one that if it didn't pay off, I think there would have been a lot of fans that at that moment would have turned around and said, no, he hasn't got a clue what he's doing here. But it did pay off. I thought James Garner was absolutely fantastic. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't like an absolute world of difference. I just thought James Garner played really well in that role. And I thought Everton played really well altogether. Brentford were not at the races today. And I think it's fair to say that. And I'm not discrediting anything that Everton did or the performance, because it was absolutely fantastic and certainly not one that we're used to seeing at all. But I did think Brentford were a little bit flat today. They were terrible in the first half. They got back into the game completely against the run of play. And I don't think they had a shot on goal in the second half and for the first 20-25 minutes of it. But that doesn't matter, because we've seen Everton play against teams who have performed like that before, who haven't really had chances on goal, who haven't really been in the game, and we've lost those games, or we haven't managed to go and get a winner. The Fulham game at the start of the season is a prime example. Fulham were terrible on that day, yet somehow walked away from Goodison with a win. Wolves were terrible, a couple of weeks later, yet somehow walked away from Goodison with a win. But Brentford were terrible today. And it was always going to be, well, can Everton capitalise on that, and can Everton go out and win this game and confidently go, no, do you know what? We're going to be the better team today. We're going to perform. And that's exactly what we did. We were absolutely brilliant from start to finish. On the ball, we were great. We created a plethora of opportunities, which, again, isn't something we've said an awful lot this season, certainly not in away games. And it was the type of away performance that we just don't usually see from Everton, and we're just not used to seeing from Everton. Going away from home, playing a side who aren't in particularly great form, even though we weren't in particularly great form ourselves, but going there, feeling confident, getting your head up, looking for passes. If you miss a chance, you go again, and going and winning the game comfortably and confidently. That was one of our most comfortable wins in recent history. I can't quite remember a win that has felt that comfortable. Okay, you could say Brighton maybe at the end of last season, and maybe that was an anomaly, but not often do Everton win games of football, period, but certainly not often do Everton win a game of football where it feels and it looks very comfortable and very calm and very in the bag from early on. Now, don't get me wrong, I was absolutely bricking it up until the 96th minute. And of course, as an Evertonian, I wasn't quite convinced we'd won that game until into the 90th plus minute. But, retrospectively looking back on it, and I think if you were a neutral watching this game today, you probably would have felt Everton were comfortable throughout the entire game, and Brentford didn't offer very much. As I said, we started absolutely brilliantly. Good corner in, gets cleared. Another really good ball into the box. Tarkowski, I think it is, headers it down fantastically onto Decore. Decore's shot is absolutely brilliant, and it's in the back of the net. And you're thinking, right, okay, we've gone 1-0 up. Now, we went 1-0 up against Sheffield United a couple of weeks ago. It was Decore. Can we continue to pile this pressure on? And what we absolutely needed to do after going 1-0 up was continue to, get our heads up, confidently continue to play, continue to pass the ball around, continue to create opportunities, continue to get it on goal. It was absolutely imperative that we didn't score and then just sort of let our heads drop and become lackadaisical and become a little bit, a little bit, what's the word? I don't know what word I'm trying to look for here, but exactly like the Sheffield United performance when we scored and then we took our foot off the gas. We were completely lackadaisical and we were just waiting to concede then, and it was important that we didn't do that today, and we didn't do that. We continued the pressure, and Brentford at this point were nowhere in the game. We continued the pressure. We had another couple of big opportunities. Dwight McNeil has one that he just drags past the post inches. Michalenko has one that he probably should do better. It falls to him in the box. He's 15 yards away from goal. He hits it straight at the goalkeeper. Beto has one, one-on-one with the goalkeeper where he dinks it and he puts it wide. He probably should do better. And then the golden chance of them all come from the corner. A very similar situation to his goal. Ball gets knocked onto him. He chests it down well. He strikes it on the volley and it hits the bar. And I thought Abdoulaye Doucouré was absolutely brilliant in that first half. Absolutely superb. And what did I say going into this game? Leave Abdoulaye Doucouré further forward, leave him behind the striker, put him in the 10 and say to him, don't even bother coming back here. Don't bother coming, back and giving Onana the hand or Garner the hand, because you're not really a good enough footballer to do that. But what you are is a massive threat in front of goal, because he's big, he's strong, he's physical, and he can hit a ball, he can get a shot away, he can surprisingly, get a shot on a goal, and quite often he gets a lot of luck with them because people don't expect it. Keep him up there, and he did. The manager kept him up front and he caused havoc for the opening 35, 40 minutes. He caused absolute havoc. He was fantastic. He obviously hits the bar. Looking at this point, I'm sort of sitting there thinking, we've had a massive chance for McNeil, which he probably should have done better with, and maybe if he was a little bit sharper, he would have done better with. We've had a massive chance for Beto that you would like him to do better with. A big chance for Michalenko. Now we've hit the bar again. Are we going to rue these chances? 70 seconds later, completely against the run of play, they go up the other end and they make it 1-1. Again, should it have been disallowed by VAR? Well, originally it was ruled offside, and then they didn't just change the angle, they changed the actual action. They changed where the ball was taken from, and listen, ultimately it doesn't matter. I'm not asked. If you'd said to me at 2 o'clock this afternoon, Cam, Everton are going to win 3-1 today, but the goal that Brentford score is going to be a bit dubious and maybe it should have been called offside, I'd say I'm not asked if the goal Brentford scored was 73 mile offside. As long as Everton have won the game, I don't care. So I'm not really too bothered, but it was a little bit dubious. And then you're sort of thinking, well, are we going to be able to get back into this game now in terms of get control back and continue to press and continue to push and continue to, go and perform as the better team? Because it wasn't like Brentford had come back into the game over 5 or 10 minutes and they were building confidence. Brentford were absolutely terrible today, and I think if you're a Brentford fan watching this, you'll probably agree. The goal completely come against the run of play. So my biggest fear when they scored was, are our heads going to drop now? Are we now all of a sudden going to just be sort of, heads down, feeling sorry for ourselves and allow them to build that confidence? Their crowd started to get up a little bit, and it was a case of, is this going to be deja vu? Everton go ahead in an away game, have a couple of golden chances to kill the game off, don't take them chances. The opposition team get back into it with a sloppy bit of play and then ultimately go and win the game. We've seen it happen numerous times before, but it wasn't the case. The goal in itself, listen, I know some people might criticise Jordan Pickford for it, because if he leaves it, then James Tarkowski's there to be able to close it, to be able to clear the ball. But I'm never going to criticise a goalkeeper for, trying to save or getting a touch on a shot that's aimed right at him, because I think we're just getting into silly territory there. Anyway, the goal goes in. We go in at half-time, and ultimately it's extremely disappointing. We've gone in at half-time, haven't been much the better team, haven't had much the clear opportunities, but somehow not winning the game. And like I said, those general sort of, is this going to be another day for Everton? Is this going to be another Everton situation where, we lose a game that really we should have won? But no, we come out in the second half, and whatever the manager has said at half-time to those players, and as I said, I will give the manager credit, because I've sat here before and I've criticised them, and I genuinely believe if Everton would have lost today, Sean Dyche will have been on very, very, very thin ice because of some of the decisions he made going into the game, and because it would have meant that we'd have had to have beat Luton for him to keep his job. Now we've got an opportunity to go and beat Luton at Goodison, which we should and we're expected to do, and that hasn't changed based upon today's result, and then beat Bournemouth at Goodison as well. I know we've got Villa in the cup in between that, but that's a different situation. Then we've got an opportunity of going into that international break, I think it is October, 3 Premier League wins on the bounce, 9 points all of a sudden, a much better return than what we what we had at the start of the season, and that is expected now, by the way. Just because we've beaten Brentford doesn't mean we can slip up in either of the other 2 games. The expectation now is you go and win 3 on the bounce, which Everton haven't done since about 1932. But go and win 3 games on the bounce now. You've got 2, and again, discounting the Villa game, I'm not saying that I think we'll lose, or I'm not saying that I'm not bothered about it. Just put it to one side for 1 second. We've got 2 extremely winnable games at Goodison Park now. Go out and go and win them, and then we'll be able to sit there and go, do you know what? We've won 3 Premier League games on the bounce there. At the very minimum, we might even be able to say, and we're into the cup, the next round of the cup. But as a very minimum, we should be winning those next 2 Premier League games. And fair play to the manager, because he set that team up today, and we've gone out and we've performed the way that he's wanted us to perform. We've been confident, we've created chances in front of goal. Now, don't get me wrong, where we helped a little bit by Brentford being poor, probably, yeah, but we still had to go out with confidence after, 4 defeats in the last 5 games. We still had to go out and believe we could beat a team that the whole country is raving about as being one of the best in the country at the moment. And to be fair, they are one of the best run football clubs in the country. And how ironic is it that Everton's last 2 away wins have come against arguably the 2 best run football clubs in the country, and we've beaten them both comfortably and convincingly away from home. Now, that's not me saying Everton are better ran, by the way, because Everton are nowhere near as good, as good at being run as a football club as Brentford or Brighton. And I'm not saying we are the complete opposite, but I'm just saying how ironic is it that those 2 clubs are lauded as being fantastically run, and Everton have gone and beaten them both in our last 2 away wins. But yeah, like I said, more to the point, fair play to the manager. He made a risky decision today. It was a bold move, and he had to come off for him. That had to come off for him, and I'm sure he'll be lying in bed tonight with a glass of wine or watching the telly, and I'm sure he'll be thinking, thank fuck that come off for me today, because that was a big decision. And it did. It come off for him brilliantly. We come out in the second half, and even before we scored the second, I had this weird feeling of confidence. It was a weird sort of, right, okay, I wasn't convinced we were going to score a second goal and then ultimately go on and win the game, but I was convinced that Brentford weren't going to score a second goal. I thought Everton were in control of the game. I thought we were moving it round the midfield well. I thought Garner Gay was a little bit, I thought he was a little bit irrational. I thought he was a little bit rash today on the ball. Some of his decision making when he had the ball at his feet, some of his passing, and he caused us a couple of big problems that could have quite easily transformed into goals by being silly and taking too much time on the ball. But generally, I thought in that second half, we were cool, we were calm, we were collected, we were moving the ball forward, we were getting it, we were trying to create opportunities. Beto was doing well. I thought Beto had an okay game, don't get me wrong. I thought he had a couple of opportunities in front of goal that he probably should have done better with, pardon the pun, but his general play, winning headers in the air, winning it when it was coming to him, holding the ball up, playing other people in, thought he had a relatively decent game today. And then we get the second goal, set piece comes in, Tarkowski obviously with a brilliant header, puts us 2-1 up, and you're thinking, right, okay, don't concede now. And again, 60 seconds later, we very nearly conceded. A bit of a scrappy moment in the box, through a corner, could have gone anywhere. Thankfully, we got rid of it. And then the game was calm then. The game was calm for 5 or 10 minutes, a 2-1 up. Brentford weren't really pushing. They weren't really seeming like they were going to get, they were wanting to go and get an equaliser. And we were calm, we were collected. Dominic Calvert-Lewin comes on for Beto, and within a few minutes, James Garner does brilliantly to win the ball back, slides Dom through, Dom makes it 3-1, and you're sort of sitting there thinking, right, okay, I'd have taken a draw before this game, so if this ends a draw, it would be an absolute disaster, and I'll be fuming, but it would be a result I would have taken before it. Maybe that's just the Evertonian in me, but no, we continued. We played the game out. Brentford, again, at this point, I think had pretty much given up. We continued to create some half chances. We were calm on the ball. Defensively, they were calm. I thought Branthwaite was absolutely outstanding all afternoon. Absolutely outstanding. Tarkowski next to him was fantastic as well. I thought Mikalenko deserves an immense amount of credit today. Mikalenko was brilliant last week. against Arsenal, probably Everton's best player, and today he was absolutely phenomenal again. Everything he touched, he even got forward, beat a man and put a cross in the box and nearly fell off the couch. I nearly fucking fell off the couch. I was watching it and I was like that. He beat a man, he outpaced a man, and then he put a ball in. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. It was absolutely fantastic. And to be fair to Miko, again, somebody I've criticised before, somebody I've had a goal before, thought he was fantastic today. Absolutely brilliant today. He was. I thought Ashley Young was okay on the other side. Decore, as I said, I thought was brilliant in that first half. Onana was better than what he has been. Still don't think he was as involved, but he was better than what he has been. Like I said, Garner Gay was a little bit of a couple of hairy moments for me, and the forward line done what they needed to do. I thought McNeil was much better today. You can see he's getting fitter, you can see his sharpness is getting there, and once he's fully match sharp and fully match fit, he'd have got a couple of goals today if he was fully match fit, comfortable. He was getting in the right areas, he was getting shots off. As I said, James Garner I thought was fantastic. I thought Beto done his job when he needed to. I thought Dan Juma done his job when he come on. Dom, brilliant, for Dom to get back in the goals. I'm assuming Dom will now start the next game and Beto will probably come out. But yeah, overall, it was an excellent performance and an excellent result, and one that Everton simply have to take confidence from now. And listen, criticised the manager before, and I've said recently that I think he's at that point where he's getting close to that point of no return. And if you don't know what that means the Bournemouths for Frank Lampard, the Watfords for Rafael Benitez, the Norwiches for Marco Silva years ago. That point where the manager loses a game and the whole crowd turn against them, and it's only a matter of time before they're sacked. I think DYCHE's just given himself a massive lifeline with that win, and if he can go and get the next, the next two Premier League games and go and win those two, Luton and Bournemouth at home, which we absolutely should anyway, regardless of today, then he will still be in a job, and probably rightly so, because he'll have shown that he can turn this form around. But lots of work to do still. It's only our first win of the season, but it's a massive win, that, and it's one that none of us expected going into this game. The manager deserves credit, the players deserve credit. Yes, we got a little bit of help with Brentford being so bad, but you know what? We were fantastic today, and we absolutely deserve that. We deserve that. Even if Brentford were brilliant, we'd have still deserved that today, because we were absolutely phenomenal. I'm buzzing. Finally, a Saturday night where we can sit down and we can be a little bit happy. We can watch a film. We can have a bevy. We can just be chilled without waking up tomorrow and thinking, oh my God, Everton have lost again. Get in, up the fucking toffees. Decore was excellent. Mikalenko was boss. DYCHE, fair play to you. You got it right. And, I did say leave the Corey up there and don't, just leave him up there. Don't let him come back. And, but to be fair, the James Garner change, I criticised before the game. Well, it worked, didn't it? It worked. Big thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed this one, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Up the toffees, and we'll see you later.